3 days after completing his final manuscript, The Buddha and His Dhamma. He died on December 6, 1956. Yes, I'm talking about the father of Indian Constitution, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. And in this context, we have a special guest in our studio. She is very popular for her series Dhammapada in our Telugu and English channel. She is none other than Miss Annapurna ji. A very warm welcome to our studio.
Thank you. Thank you.
Ma'am, first of all, I want to, since you follow Buddha, the teachings of Buddha, you follow Osho and some other masters too, right? But today our focus is on Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. B.R. Ambedkar has been influenced by teachings of Buddha. So could you please throw some light on it?
India is one of the most ancient countries in the world, and it is the land of enlightened masters, mystics and monks. So many enlightened masters had born on this earth and contributed their wisdom for the welfare of the mankind and for the salvation of the whole humanity across the world. Coming to the Buddha, Buddha is one of the spiritual scientists, and he had given a very scientific analysis about spiritualism regarding to the body, mind and matter. And moreover, in the Buddha's period, there are so many discriminations in the society, especially caste, religion, creed, greed, and customs, beliefs, untouchability.
So it was that time also prevalent when Buddha himself was on this earth, right?
Yes, yes. The caste system is established in India before the Buddha itself.
I see.
So it had came from the Manudharma Shastram. It is the Hindu scripture, and in that they will tell that the caste will come according to the color, complexion
and work also.
And workouts. So before the Buddha also, the caste system was prevailed in India from so many centuries.
Right.
So after the Buddha had given importance to the truth and reality, and he had condemned the superstitious beliefs, blind beliefs, and the so-called nonsense things which are established on the name of religion, caste and creed and race. So in the Buddha's era, he had given the Dhamma Diksha to that lower caste people also. And so many people had condemned the Buddha because of this type of attitude.
Yeah, right. It was something new, something scientific.
Yeah, he had created a revolution at his time by giving the Dhamma Diksha to all the religious people and to all the different types of caste to the people, and he had given a Dhamma Diksha.
In brief, how do you summarize Dhamma Diksha?
Dhamma Diksha is nothing but a person who wants to travel in the path of liberation and salvation, and who is going to travel in the path of Buddha, I mean in the Dhammapada. They are initiated, given the sannyas Diksha.
Right.
So from that time, they will renounce the world and they will dedicate themselves to the sadhana, to the Dhamma, to the Sangha and the Buddha. Then they will spend their whole time in the sadhana, in the practice of meditation.
Path of truth.
Yeah, path of truth. That is Dhammapada. It is the path of Dhamma.
Correct.
Yeah. So in this juncture, at the Buddha's time, mainly the Buddha philosophy was Shila, Samadhi and Prajna. So what the Buddha says, if you want to grow in the outer world or you want to travel in the spirituality, first of all you have to maintain your character. That is Panchashila, 5 precepts. So when you maintain the character and when you practice the Panchashila in your life, when you implement this Panchashila in your life, automatically your body will get purified.
So what are these Panchashilas?
The 5 precepts was, the first one is non-violence and do not theft, and the third one is you should not tell lies, and you have to avoid the sexual misconduct. I mean you have to maintain the brahmacharya, and the last one is you should stop the taking intoxicants, I mean drugs, drug addiction. You should come out from drug addiction. So these are the 5 precepts the Buddha had given. Those who practice the meditation, definitely they should follow that. But if you want to lead a happy and healthy life, when you are in the family life also, you should maintain this character. And also, what is the important character in the Buddha was, he had given a code of discipline for every sect of people. For example, those who are in the family life, how they should lead a family life perfectly. And those who rule the country, and what are the code of discipline they have to follow in order to rule the country perfectly with truth and perceptions. And also, what are the code of discipline for the sannyas, Dhamma Diksha, those who had taken the Dhamma Diksha, and what are the characters they have to maintain in their practice. So, he had given a code of discipline for every sect of people. So, while coming to the feudal society, in the Buddha period, it is a feudal society, it is not a democratic type at that moment, feudal society. So, he had given a code of discipline how to rule the country perfectly with equality, with humanity, with justice. So, especially the Ambedkar has attracted to Buddhism because of the characters he had given by the Buddha, so that he has attracted to the Buddhism. So, while coming to the other religions, there are so many discriminations are there, and so many bondages are there. So, a man will not grow with freedom or with their potentialities if they involve in the other religions. They don't have any freedom. So, everywhere they will create bondages, and they don't even give permission to take a fresh air. Since from the childhood to the graveyard, when you see some religions in the world, so they are very much restricted according to the dress code or whatever may be the conditions. Do's and don'ts, don't do this. So they will put conditions. So there is no freedom to grow individual up to full extent with humanity, love and compassion. So the Buddha's religion was, it was a very helpful to the downtrodden people. So that is the reason why Ambedkar attracted to the Buddhism, and he has adopted the Buddha philosophy. So this is the main reason. And moreover, in the Buddha's period, he had given so many Dikshas by condemning all the wrong beliefs, interpretations, superstitious beliefs. So that's why we will call the Buddha as a spiritual scientist. And he had given a very scientific analysis about the body, mind and also nature, about the universal truths, and he had gone with the completely in the truth. His path was with completely truth, and he had given the new type of perception to the spirituality. So when you divide the era of spirituality, we can divide the period also. Just like we will divide the eras before Christ and after Christ, we will divide the spirituality also before Buddha and after Buddha. We can, he had brought us so much revolution. And first of all, what I will say, Buddha is a rebel. He is a spiritual rebel. Why? Because he had condemned all old rotten beliefs and dogmas which the society has created. So he had condemned all that nonsense things. So he had given a new approach to the spirituality, and also new approach to the life. So life is most important. You have to get rid out of misery. So in order to get out of misery, you have to follow the eightfold path, Arya Ashtangic mark. I mean right vision, right paradigm, right acceptance, right relations, and right acceptance, and next right awakening, right meditation, right samadhi. He had given the eightfold path. So if you follow the eightfold path in your life, you will learn the art of living. So if you know the art of living, ultimately you will practice the meditation, and when you practice the meditation, you will enter into the samadhi. And the technique given by the Buddha was Anapanasati and also Vipassana. So by practicing this meditation technique, you will get rid out of misery, and ultimately you will reach the ultimate bliss. Buddha had not talking about God, moksha and mukti, salvation. First of all, what he will tell that, first of all, you get rid out of the misery. Life is misery. There is a reasons for misery. If you find out the reasons for misery, then you will get the solution for all the problems in the life. And he will tell that the ultimate wisdom will give solution to all the problems in the life. So attain the nirvana.
Right.
And practice meditation, come out of all the clutches of the body, mind and matter, and also society. Then you will become automatically, you will enter into the salvation and liberation. This is the path of Buddha. So Ambedkar has influenced by the Buddha because of these characters.
So that's why he has always been against this discrimination in the society.
Yeah.
And very well written in Indian Constitution also. Yeah. Everybody is equal.
Especially in the Constitution preamble, the Ambedkar, the points he had taken, right. That points from the Buddhism itself. Right. Equality, fraternity, liberty, and prosperity, humanity. So these are the main points in the preamble.
Now, if we talk about Dr. B.R. Ambedkar's life, I mean, already we discussed how he was influenced by the principles, by the teachings of Buddha. Now, how about PariNirvana?
In the world, we have seen so many revolutions and reforms. If we take across the world, in the communism, Karl Marx, Martin Luther King, and so many, Nelson Mandela, so many revolutions have came. In India also, we have seen so many reformers and revolutionaries. While coming to the Ambedkar, he had given a new approach to the word revolution, and also he had given wonderful constitution to the India. And before writing the constitution, he had read all the world's constitutions across the world. He had referred all the constitutions throughout the world, and he had taken the better points and better development so to the country, so that he had written the constitution in a very scientific way. Right. Okay, and coming to the Ambedkar birth, he had born in the year 1891 and April 14th at the state of Madhya Pradesh in Mao village. It's near to the Indore. Right. And his father was Ramji Sakpal, and his mother was Bhima Bai Sakpal, and he had born in a very poor family. So the Ambedkar family, the family members are, the children are 14 members, and Ambedkar was the last one. Okay, since from the childhood, and he has born in a untouchable family, so he had faced so many discriminations in his childhood and untouchability. And when he had joined in the Elphinstone school, so in the school also, he cannot sit in the classroom with the fellow students. The teachers said to the Ambedkar, you should not sit with the fellow students, you have to sit outside and listen the classes, outside the classroom. So he had faced so many discriminations, especially the untouchability. And at that moment, these Dalits and the downtrodden people, they are not allowed to enter into the temples.
Yeah, it happens still.
It happens. And also, they have not allowed to even drink the water. So the water is confined to some categorized people only. They should not touch the water, and they should not touch the people. And they used to live in the remote areas outside the villages. So these type of discriminations he had faced so much in his childhood. And in that discriminated society also, he had taken a commitment to take a well education. So education will give freedom. The Ambedkar believed that education will give freedom. So we have to understand the knowledge. We have to understand the society. In order to get rid of all these miserable conditions, you have to become educated. So by facing so many hurdles, he had studied very well, and also after completing his graduation, he went to America, and with the help of Baroda king, Gaikwad his name is, and he went to America to study in the Columbia University. And after going to the America also, and he had faced so many financial crises. And according to the in that era, Ambedkar era, so there are childhood marriages. Child marriages are encouraged in that era. So he had got married at the age of 17. So his wife was Ramabai Ambedkar, and they had 2 children. So after that, when he had went to America, their family was in a very poor condition. Actually, the Ambedkar had not given importance to the family also. He was unable to take care of his children or wife very properly. Why? Because he has dedicated his life to uplift the people who are suffering from these societal discriminations. And also he had worked for 18 hours in 24 hours to write the books, to write the and to raise the revolutions, and he had created so much of awareness in the people to get out of that miserable conditions, and he has dedicated himself to the society. And at that juncture, what happened, he had completed the education in America, and his wife especially, the Ramabai Ambedkar, and their family conditions was very poor, and she used to send money. Already his wife and his children are already starving. In that situations also, she used to send the money to the Ambedkar for the study purposes. And she has sacrificed so much for the development of Ambedkar in the society, and she is the backbone.
So she has played a very critical role in his life.
In his life. So after that, he had returned from London, and in the middle of his studies only, he had stopped the studies because of this financial crisis, and he came to India. And after that, he had joined as a professor in a law college, and for the daily needs. So, but the job has not given satisfaction to the Ambedkar. He wanted to do more to the society. So he had resigned that job, and after that he had written so many articles and so many books, and he has published research articles in the. So many people are influenced by his writings, by his speeches. So after that, what he had decided that if we want to bring the peace, and if you want to uplift the downtrodden people, so you have to eradicate the caste in India. So then he had taken a revolution, annihilation of caste. So you have to eradicate the caste in India. Unless until there is a caste discriminations in India, India won't develop. Right. It won't develop up to full extent. So he has taken a revolution on the annihilation of caste, and he had written a book on that topic, annihilation of caste. So he had read all the scriptures. I mean Bhagavad Gita, Quran, Bible. He had written all the religious scriptures, and also he had read the Dhammapada also. Right. At that juncture. So what he had done is, all the religions are creating discriminations, and all the religions are creating so much of dogmas, creed, greed, and hypocrisy and pretendance. They are not giving importance to the humanity. Right. Only they are giving to the belief systems. So he had condemned all the religious scriptures, and at last where the caste system has arisen from the Manusmriti, and he had condemned that book also. Yes. So after that, he had traveled throughout India and given many speeches on annihilation of caste. So within this period, his health was become so much sick, and at last he has taken a decision to take the Dhamma Diksha and adopt the Buddhism. So at that time, he had become very popular, and in that juncture only he had written the constitution, and he had attended the roundtable conferences which has happened in the New Delhi on the chairmanship of Dr. Rajendra Prasad and Mahatma Gandhi. He had given some information about the societal conditions and also the conditions of the downtrodden people and what the problems they are facing. So he had become a representative to the Dalits, and he has become a leader. For the 80% people, he had become a leader. He has represented the conditions of the poor people, and all those things he had implemented, and also he had written the constitution. How this people will become uplift. So he had given a rights in the constitution, especially the fundamental rights, right to speech, right to vote, and the democracy of the people, for the people, and by the people, and democracy. And so that he had written the Indian constitution. So not only he has given importance to the not only to the downtrodden people, but he had given importance to women rights, especially the Hindu code bill. So he had given the right to speech to the women also. Woman is not confined to home itself. She has to become educated. She has to learn education, and she has to become intellectual, and she has to on her own feet. And he had provided some rights in the constitution also, especially women rights. Women rights. So that now I am talking like this means because of the rights he has given in the constitution to the women. And this is the main contribution, especially in India, not only in India, throughout the world, the three types of people, three categories of people are suffered so much. One is children, the second one is women, and the third one is downtrodden people. They are suffered so much. So he had become a representative for three categories of people. And also, not only he had written the constitution for that people, he had written the constitution for every religious people.
Right.
So he had taken into consideration about the Brahmins and also other caste people, and also minorities, Christian minorities, Muslim minorities, and he given rights in the constitution, and especially this is small states, regarding to the small states. So how the constitution will work if you divide the states into small categories, the ruling will be very transparent. So he had given so much of and also reservations, especially the reservations he had given in the constitution. And with that reservations, the woman is also she is participating in the elections and also becoming MPs and ministers. And also he had especially the reservations given to the Dalits. Because of that, they are trying to educate the people, getting the right to education, and right to equality, right to freedom. So he has contributed so much to the society. And moreover, the Ambedkar had given importance to humanity, equality, and his main motto was educate, hesitate, and organize. That is the main motto of Ambedkar. And if you educate, you will get the knowledge of the world, and you will understand the situations, and you will understand the people. So if you don't get the rights, you can hesitate and organize the people, form the societies, and you develop the country. So these are the three principles he had given. This is he had given in the his main speeches. So after returning the constitution and submitted that on 26 January 1950, our Indian constitution has came into existence. After that, he had his health was became sick, and he had decided to go into the spiritual path. And he had referred all the religious scriptures, and he had selected the Buddhism. He had selected the Buddhism, and with his 6 lakhs followers, he had taken Dharma Diksha on October 14th, 1956 in the Nagpur Diksha Bhumi. And what he said about the Buddhism in that was, of course, he had condemned some negative interpretations which are in the Dhammapada also. He had taken a essence of the Buddha, essence of the Buddha, and also he had added some points to that, and he will call Navayana Buddhism. So he had given a new approach to the Buddhism also, and he has written that points in the Buddha and his Dhamma. So what he tells is, whatever may be the religion, it should not impose impositions on them. It should give freedom. It should give equality. So why I am selected this Buddhism means it will give equality and humanity, and it will go according to the love and compassion, and it will give importance to the individual freedom.
Right. So non-interference.
Non-interferences. So it will give freedom. So that is the reason why I have selected this religion. That is the reason why I am taking this Dhamma Diksha. So he had given a long speech on that, and he has written a book, Buddha and his Dhamma. And also he had written another book between the, what is the comparison between the Buddha and Marx. He has written that book also. Journalist asked a question to the Ambedkar, if democracy has failed in India, what is the alternate for it? He told that communism is the alternate. Right. Yeah. So that is the reason why he had written the Marxism. He has written so many books, and he has read so many books, some lakhs of books he has written, and he gained so much of knowledge. And Ambedkar was the world's utmost intellectual. The UNO has given a recognition as the world topmost intellectual in the world. But in India, they don't give importance to Ambedkar. They only confine to them to the some caste. So that is not the right way. He is a universal man. He has contributed so much to the society, and every individual and every caste of people, every religion should give importance to him. Why? Because he has given a very scientific approach. Very scientifically he had explained things, and what the Ambedkar has written in the constitution, if this governments had implemented properly in the India means, so automatically India will develop. But so many amendments are coming in that. The original constitution
is being
modified so much according to their will and wish, but they are not implementing as it is. So why? Because of that, India is an ancient country, but still it is backward because of this type of people. And mainly in this context, the Osho says, in this whole world, we have seen so many wars. In 5,000 years, 3,000 wars have been fought. These wars have fought because of this religious people.
Correct. 100%.
Religious people, and also because of these politicians.
True.
And because of this police. These three P's are more dangerous people to the society. The first one is priest, the second one is politicians, and the third one is police. So these politicians will listen to the words of priest. Why? Because they want vote bank. Correct. All these religious people, these caste people, they will come under the priest, no? So they want the votes. He want the power. So these politicians will control the police. So because of these three type of people, so many wars have been fought. Not only in India, throughout the world. When you see the First World War, Second World War, all these wars have been fought because of these type of people. These three P's are more dangerous people to the society. Unless until these three people are modified, the country is not going to develop. Osho had said these words.
Correct.
And at the time of Ambedkar, Osho was there. He is a contemporary at that time. Right. And once he had met to the Ambedkar also in some context. So what he says is, Ambedkar is a father of Indian constitution, and also he has given a new approach for the development of the society, and he has given a new dimension to establish a new dimensions in the society, and also to uplift the people up to full extent. Right. So this is the new way he has given to the India. He has told like that.
This was said by Osho.
Said by Osho. And moreover, after taking the Dhamma Diksha, and he had not got much time to spread the Buddhism in India or across the world. Why? Because he had become sick. His health was not good at that time, because he had worked 18 hours per day. by writing books, researching articles, studies, revolutions. He had given most importance to the society, and his children, his two children will die, but he has not get the time to attend the cremation also. He had what he had said, that if he give importance to the children, to the own children, then this revolution will get disturbed. So he was in the dilemma whether I have to give importance to the family or the society. But he had given importance to the society itself. So the whole family was maintained by his wife only. That she is also contributed so much, and she has lost his two sons within this struggle. They have sacrificed their lives for the welfare of the society and welfare of the mankind. But now today the Ambedkarites are Buddhist, so-called Ambedkarites. They are not fulfilling their desires, his desires and also his dreams. They are almost still perverted, we are seeing nowadays. Just Ambedkar has become an icon. And actually what the Ambedkar was thought to eradicate the caste. But is this happened in the India?
Not yet.
Why? What's the reason behind it? The caste is almost become well established in the society.
True.
What is the reason? Why? Because those who are following the Ambedkar, they are not following his teachings, and also they are not taking carry to their ideology, his ideology.
It is 2021, almost more than 76 years of freedom of India.
Yeah.
And the constitution was established long back. But still this discrimination on the basis of caste, creed, or some area, North India, South India,
Religious.
West, East, and whatnot. How do we get rid of all this?
Actually, after taking the Dhamma Diksha, the last words of the Ambedkar was, what he has told, that my final words was educate, agitate and organize. Grow up to full extent. And in my view, the revolution is just a matter of joy. It is not a serious matter. We are fighting here not for power, not for political power. We are fighting for freedom. Our battle is for freedom and bliss. And my approach, that every human personality should go up to full extent with freedom and equality. And this revolution, if you see the revolution, it is fully spiritual. It is not materialistic, it is spiritual. He is told like that in his last words. It is fully up to its spiritual. It is not a materialistic thing. We are fighting for freedom and bliss. And that is what the Buddha say. What is the ultimate goal of a meditator, and what is the ultimate goal of a spiritualist? Freedom and bliss, salvation and liberation. And Ambedkar had came to the same conclusion. So he had given a last words like this. After that, on December 6th, 1956, he has left his body. So he had contributed so much to the society, and he is in the world's intellectual forum. When we take the Albert Einstein, some intellectuals are there, scientists are there. So the UNO has recognized is one of the 6 important brains in the world. So that is, and they had created the Ambedkar chair also in the Columbia University on his name. But in India, still there is discrimination about his caste, creed. They are not giving importance to the Ambedkar, but this is not the right way. He had worked for whole humanity.
For the nation, for the whole humanity,
nation,
yes.
whole mankind.
For the downtrodden, for women,
people.
for children.
Yeah, downtrodden people, and especially had contributed so much his knowledge and wisdom, time, and he has lost his life, his family and his children in this struggle for the welfare of the society. So today the Indian government should give importance to the constitution, and also they have to work to fulfill the dreams of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, and also what they have amended since from independence, it's not the correct way. Everybody, they don't know what is the real approach of that constitution. Most of the people, they don't know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. Yes. Why? Because they have amended. What, according to the political party, according to the people mindset, they have amended the constitution. So, if you implement the original constitution as it is in India, India will develop to full extent. So, India is one of the most ancient countries in the world, but still it is backward. Why? Because people, they don't invite changes. They desire for change, but at the time, when the time will come to change, they will escape from the situations. So this is the main mind, this is the mob psychology of the Indian people. India is not a poor country, Indians are poor. And when we see the black money, which is situated in the Swiss bank, so when we see that, the most of the Indian people will deposit the money comparing to other country people. So India is not a poor country, Indians are poor. Here the people are very hypocritic. They don't give importance to right things. So the Ambedkar had given a new approach, new dimension to the life, to the society. So if we follow the constitution, especially to develop India, if you follow the constitution 100%, the India will develop. And also nowadays when we see the downtrodden people also, they are also following the caste system. The caste is not eradicated in India. Then they are going against the philosophy of Ambedkar. Just the Ambedkar had become an icon for the reservations and also for the power. That's all.
And maybe hardly we remember him twice in a year.
Yeah, twice in a year. So when the occasion will come, they will put a garland and they will salute. Oh, completed. So what happened after Ambedkar, and one more occasion is there on this December 6th, and it is also said that Bodhi Day. Bodhi Day, that is on December 8th actually. So the Buddha had become enlightened on that day. So he had started his practice on December 6th and he had become enlightened on December 8th. Very much connected. And on the same day, the Ambedkar had attended the PariNirvana. So he said that he is Navabuddha and Bodhisattva Ambedkar, they will say. So whatever may be, and my approach was, in the outer world, you have to work like Ambedkar, and the inner world you have to become a Buddha.
Wow, amazing, beautiful.
Buddha. So if we combine both, you will grow in the outer world and also inner world. And this is my new approach to the society and my message to the Ambedkarites and Buddhists in the society. Actually, one organization is there, especially the Ambedkar has started at the time of the Samata Sainik Dal. So now though some sect of people are doing work for the eradication of caste in India and to establish the Buddhism in India. Some sect of people are doing. That is SSD, Samata Sainik Dal, and that organization was started by the Ambedkar itself. So some people are carry forwarding that his ideology, but most of the people, they are just using the name of Ambedkar and they are going on like that.
Now ma'am, what about Ambedkar's view on modern society?
Actually, Ambedkar had written the constitution by keeping in the view for the upcoming generations itself. And while coming to the industrial policies and the agricultural policies and establishment of small states and also regularizing the systems and this eradication of caste, untouchability and equality, all he had written in the constitution by keeping view in for the upcoming generations itself. And his vision was, if the constitution was implemented as it is, his vision was almost all, I think 70 years had crossed independence. So within this 70 years of independent India, if the constitution was implemented as it is without any amendments, means India will became a Japan itself. Why? Because it has not happened like that. See, in the 70 years of independent India, single problem will not solved. Poverty, unemployment, education. And what the Ambedkar said, education, we have to give free education from KG to PG. But now the education has become a business.
Very expensive, yes.
Very expensive, and
For even like
it became a business.
Business,
Yeah.
and for even like kids who are in pre-nursery classes,
Yeah.
it's very expensive.
Expensive. And moreover, he had given the fundamental rights, right to equality, right to vote. And when coming to the citizens of India, they are not using their right to vote. They are taking money, bribe. This is not the right way. So these fundamental rights have been polluted. That these citizens of India, and also the political leaders have spoiled the system completely. So actually, he had given a very modern approach by thinking about the future generations, and especially the constitution was very much relevant to the modern era itself. He has given a broad view.
So we can say the constitution he prepared was ready for the modern generations, and it is also in a way futuristic.
In every context.
Right.
In every context, in every sector, in every department.
Right. So it was valid 70 years ago, and it is still valid, even more valid.
More upcoming generations
upcoming
also.
generations
also.
Right.
In India, especially, the political system have to change.
Right.
The politicians should invite changes, and also people should change their mindset.
What I feel is people make these governments, people make these politicians.
Yeah.
So we have to use our brains, we have to use our minds to vote to the right person and to an educated
and
person.
Here the Osho will say, and also Ambedkar had also told in this context, almost all the democracy had failed in India. Then what is the alternate for it?
Communism.
Meritocracy.
Meritocracy.
Yeah. This is what the Osho had given a new approach after Ambedkar. Meritocracy means when you elect a person as a minister or MP or MLA, he should expertise in some subjects. Right. For example, if you appoint a agriculture minister, he should be expert in agriculture. Very true. He should know what about agriculture. Then he will do justice to that portfolio. And also, when you select an education minister, he should be perfectly educated. Correct. So that he will know the value of education. So this has not happened. So the Osho will say that meritocracy is the alternate. If you want to develop the country, give the important portfolios to the educated people. But what happened nowadays, they are giving portfolios to the educated people, but they have become very corrupted. Very corrupted. Why? Because if you see the election commission, or if you see the electoral rules, and they are giving money, people are taking money and giving votes, right. Then why they will work? Why the politicians will work? Correct. They have given money, you have given vote. There is no responsibility for it. They will just leave the country as it is. So that is the reason why what happening now. Democracy has been spoiled.
So how do we solve this problem? How do we educate people?
Actually, since from childhood, the education system should be changed. Why? Because if we see the education system also, it is the same old rotten British system we are following. Okay. But there is no better education we are not giving. Quality of education is very low in India. So you have to improve the education system first of all. And in that education system, you have to teach the children the morals, ethics, and also humanity, love and compassion. And also you have to give quality education. The education is not to earn the livelihood. Right. It should help the people when they will get the problems in their own life. It should give knowledge. Nowadays, the children just learning the education for job purpose itself. Yes, that's what. They are not gaining any knowledge. It is not for knowledge. But in the olden days, the people get educated with knowledge itself. Right. The teachers are like that. When you see the old ancient education system and nowadays if you compare it, so especially the science and the spirituality should be implemented in education.
Right from the beginning.
Right from the beginning, since from the childhood, so that the spirituality is not religion. Religion is different, spirituality is different. But nowadays there is a wrong approach. The most of the people think that spirituality and religion is same. Religion creates discriminations. It will create dogmas, and it will create bondages to the individuals, and it won't allow the individuals to grow up to full extent. It will create bondages.
I summarize it: religion divides, spirituality unites.
Unites, yes. And spirituality will give freedom. You can grow up to full extent in the worldly, in the outer world, and also in the inner world also. So you have to implement the science, spirituality in the education. In my approach, the science and spirituality is not different, they are one. Science is not different from spirituality, spirituality is not different from science. Why? Because nowadays the spirituality, when we see some enlightened masters, they are teaching the spirituality in a very scientific way, especially in the meditation. And in the period of Buddha also, he had given a new approach to the spirituality, and especially the psychology of the human beings, the personality of the human beings, and also how to get rid of these emotions, how to get rid of these negativities. He had given a very scientific analysis, and what the psychologist had taken inspiration from the Buddha itself. Why? Because the Buddha had explained the mind psychology, psychology of the human beings in a very scientific way. He is a first psychologist in the world. So some theories, if we take some theories in the psychology, especially the past life regression, and also the Jati Smaran Siddhant. Past life regression means the Jati Smaran Siddhant given by the Buddha itself. And also studying the body, mind and matter in a very scientific way. So the Buddha had given a new outlook to the modern spirituality and to the modern psychology also. That is the reason why Ambedkar has accepted the Buddhism. So spirituality will transform the inner, okay, and science will transform the outer. Though you have to invite the transformation. Unless until the individual's mindset, unless until the lives of the people will not transform, the society will not grow up to full extent. Why? Because the change starts from the individual, and ultimately it extends to the society at large. So if you reform yourself, you will reform the society. If you change yourself, you will change others. But most of the people, what they are doing is, they are trying to change the society. But it is not possible. It won't happen. So first of all, you have to invite changes in yourself. So that is the whole philosophy of spirituality. Change yourself first. Invite changes within yourself. If you love yourself, you will love others. If you have compassion on yourself, you will see with compassionate eyes towards others. So whatever changes will happen in your own, then ultimately it extends to the society. So in education system especially, you have to include the spirituality also. So especially when coming to the Western world and the Eastern world, Western countries and Eastern countries, the Western countries had given importance to science.
Science. Yes.
They had developed up to full extent.
Correct.
Especially the Asian countries had given importance to spirituality. Still slowly developing. Still it is underdeveloping countries, Asian countries are. They, in that Western countries, the people don't have hearts. They will lead a very rigid and reserved life. Very violent. They will create very violence in the world, because science itself is not perfect. You have to develop the spirituality also. In this context, the Osho will say, you have to combine the science and spirituality. You have to accept the science. Spirituality plus science is equal to total life empowerment.
Wow.
Total life empowerment. So in the outer world, you should be scientific. In the inner world, you should be spiritual.
So coming back to our topic,
Yeah.
Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, how was his approach towards science in India?
Actually, in his time, the science and technology was not developed that much. Why? Because in that time, the India was still under the British
Right.
rule, and after it had became independent, so I think he had he had got only 6 or 7 years to understand the situations at the present scenario. He had given a scientific outlook,
Right.
but he had not got the time to work for that.
Right, right.
Why? Because he has become sick.
But he
So
has,
in 1950, 26 January, we have got the constitution
Correct.
authentically, and within 6 years he had left the body.
but he has given the right
He has
path.
given a new approach through his constitution,
Right.
through his works,
Right.
through his literature.
Right,
But he is unable to do the work in a very scientific way.
correct.
Just he has written in the literature, but he had contributed so much. Whatever he wanted to do, he had done for it, for the society. But he had not got much time to do the better for the society. And after taking the Dhamma Diksha, and he had become a monk, he had worn the sannyasi dress,
Right.
perfect sannyasi, and he had practiced the meditation. So I think after taking the Dhamma Diksha, after 2 months he has left his body. So I think if he had alive for some more years,
Some more years,
he can
things would have been
contribute.
better.
It should be better. But he
Right.
had not got time to spread the Buddhism or in a very scientific way. So that is the reason why he had written that Buddha and his Dhamma. So he had contributed, the main contribution of Ambedkar was constitution.
Correct.
And whatever the ideology, whatever ideas he had got in his mind, he has put in the constitution.
Lovely.
Lovely. And he has written so many books, so many articles, so many research articles, and it has published in so many journals in those days.
Right.
And he has started so many revolutions. And also, he had started a magazine also, Muk Naik magazine. So, he had written so much of journals, magazines. And most probably, the Ambedkar had given an intellectual contribution, not the field work. Why? Because he had struggled so much to give awareness to the people. Why? Because the people are not aware at that time. And his life was gone in creating awareness itself to the people.
Correct, correct.
He has not entered into the field work.
Right.
Oh, of course, he had given an idea, he had given the literature, given the constitution, and those who are following the Ambedkar and also Buddhist, they have to take it further. His dreams and ideology. I don't know what they are doing nowadays. Let us see how the society will grow. But my intention was, as I said at first, the outer world Ambedkar and the inner world Buddha. Take the both
Right.
simultaneously, then the society will develop, the individual will develop at
Really,
large.
really amazing. It was a very, powerful discussion with you. I learnt a lot. And it's always amazing, like since we watch your programs, Dhammapada,
Okay, thank you.
amazing, great knowledge you share. And today we have discussed a lot about Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, which was our focus in this program. And also we came to know about Buddha way, the
Yeah.
Buddha way.
Right.
Right. So I really thank you for joining us on this particular day, on this auspicious day in a way, marking the death anniversary of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, the father of Indian Constitution. And I really appreciate your time and efforts and your thought process, the way you think, the way you have, come up with new theories, new points that will help our society, and definitely the way you, communicate to our society. I would say that our society needs to get up and follow the right path of the Buddha and Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. That's what you said before, right? So thank you so much, viewers. This was our today's episode.
Thank you so much for giving this opportunity.
And do not forget to like, share and subscribe this video.